Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning. So for the class today, we will start for our first class in chapter 1. The title is the function of the several variable. So in the subtopic 1.1, we will learn about the domain, range, level curve, contour line, and how we can sketch the 3D graph. Okay, so for the first of all, I was recall back what is the single variable. So as you know that the single variable, this is the standard form of single variable. Okay, so you can write as here y equal fx, and then this is the some example y equal x equals 3 4 plus 5 example for the single variable function. Or we can write as using the fx equal ln x plus exponent power exponent x. Okay, so this is another form. Instead of using y equal fx, we can use another symbol. It's a u ke t and so on t ke w and so on All the important thing for the single variable, that means they have the one independent variable. So one independent variable is the x. Okay, and then this one we call as the dependent variable. Okay, this is the definition of the single variable. Okay, this is the example. So in the hours course, we will focus of the function of the multivariable or function of the several variable. That means multiple or several. That means the variable is the more than one. So when I said about the variable, so that means it's a independent variable. So multiple or several, so represent for the independent variable. Okay, so for the single variable, that means the independent variable is the x. So for the multivariable, either we use the typical symbol, okay, typical notation x, y, or others notation. Okay, in the course we only focus for the 2 variable and 3 variable. Okay, variable here, that means independent variable. So okay, the example for the how we can write the multiple variable or several variables in the term of z fx. So the example, so you can write as z equals something, that function, or you can write in this term. Okay, fx xy equals something, the function. Okay, so this is the typical z xy z xy. Sometimes we can use as the others notation. So this one, let's say for the volume, radius, and height, so we can use this symbol. Okay, so this is the function for the 2 variable. 2 variable is the h and r, height and radius. Okay, meanwhile for the 3 variable, so we have the x, y, z. So w is dependent variable, so 3 variable, that means 3 independent variable. Okay, sometimes we can use u, rho, theta, and so on phi. Okay, okay, the example how you can what is the 3 variable function. Okay, ataupun another notation, we can use new vwt. So vwt independent variable. Okay, 3 variable, so you can write like this Okay, this is the example for the function. Okay, so in this topic we will start for the how we can determine the domains and range for the multivariable or single variable, multivariable or several variable. Okay, we call back what is the function of the single variable. So this is the definition. Domain can be defined consistent all value of the x that's the possible. Okay, meanwhile the range, the set of the y value when x varies over the domain. Okay, in the dalam kata mudahnya, domain adalah all possible input value. Range is the all possible output value. Okay, so here dia ada dua perkataan, dua words here, input and output. So input, that means for the single, let's say for the single variable x plus 5 So the input adalah here x, so nilai x. So the output adalah y, nilai y. This for the single. Okay, but in our course we focus for the multivariable. Okay, let's say you have the z equal xy plus y kuasa 2. Let's see So the input adalah x and y. So the input adalah x and y. So the output is the z. Okay, the definition still same, but only the different is the numbers of the independent variable. Single satu je lah. For the several or multiple, they have the 2 or 3 independent variable. Okay, we correlate. This is the example, y sama dengan x square. Okay, so y sama dengan x square. So how we can determine for the domain? So domain input x. Okay, x here. What is the possible value yang boleh you plug it into the x? Okay, can you put 0 here? Okay, when you put 0, 0 power of 2, 0. Okay, define. Okay, so if you put 1 power of 2, 1, define. If you put negative 6, let's say example, negative 6 power of 2 is the 36. Okay, so that means domain is the all range of the numbers. The value, the possible value is the all range. Okay, so you can write domain d equal to, so the domain adalah x, and x adalah all the real numbers. All numbers can be as the domain, or you can write x negative infinity to infinity. So the value, the range, the value can be real numbers. Okay, how about the domain? How about the range? So back to the definition. The range, that mean all possible output. Okay, y. Bila you masukkan nilai ni, apa yang y akan hasilkan? Output y here. So bila ada kuasa 2, possible tak y ni akan jadi negative value? The output will be negative value. Not possible, is it? So the possible output only start from 0 to infinity. Okay, to infinity. That means your range is the y must be larger and equal to 0, and y is the real number. Okay, this is the way how you can determine for the domain and range in the single, but the same method for the several variable. Okay, so the easier way how you can start to determine the domain and range, especially for the domain. So you need to know what's a restriction of the function. Apa halangan dia yang menyebabkan that function is undefined. Okay, here I list some common restriction for the function. So let's say you have the roots. So power of the a. Okay, so power of the a must be equal and larger than 0. If the negative, when you enter the calculator, you put set negative 2 ke, so the answer is the mat error. So mat error is that mean undefined ataupun complex roots. Okay, so if the less than 0, the numbers a is the complex root. So dia kan bila dalam calculator you undefined lah. Okay, so the restriction a must be larger, equal and larger than 0. So reciprocal, for the reciprocal function apa ni, pecahan for friction 1 over a. So a tu not be equal to 0. Kalau equal to 0, dia akan jadi undefined. So this is the way lah. First you need to find what is the restriction, and then baru you tahu apa restriction tu. Maksudnya value tu tak boleh ada dalam domain. Kalau that value have the domain, so the function is the undefined. So except of that the value, so is a domain. Domain is the possible input value, value yang you boleh enter dalam function, that make the function is the defined. So selain daripada, so untuk dapatkan the domain, so we need to look at the restriction. Okay, what is the value can make the function is the undefined? So that value not be in the domain. Okay, so for the log or ln, so the a must be larger than 0. Okay, if the less than 0, negative value, so this is the function is the undefined. Okay, for the multiple variable sama je, sama. So domain is the input, possible input value and range is the output. So if the two variable they have the x, y lah. If they have the three variable, the input should be have the x, y and z. Similar to range. So the f, so if the two, so that means z lah. What is the possible value of the z? If they have the three variable, what is the value of the w? Possible value of w ke, theta ke, and other notation lah, mana yang sesuai. Okay, refer the question. Okay, let's say we do for example. So let's say the given the function f over x, y equal xy divided by x minus y. Okay, the first step. So the question need to you determine the domain and range. So the first step you need to look at the restriction. So what the type of the function? So the type of the function, the reciprocal. So 1 over a. So the a must be not be equal to 0. So a, what is the a? A is the x minus y. So you know x minus y must be not equal to 0. So you know the x tak boleh sama dengan y, not be equal to y. So except here, that is the value for the domain. That is the possible value for the domain. So you write lah domain equal x, y. So x must be not equal to y. So the domain ni x must be not equal to the y. So the rest adalah is a domain value. So x is the real numbers and y is the real number. So all the value is the domain except x not equal to y. That's all. Okay, itu saja. Okay, how you can determine for the range? So the range z. So what is the output here? Output here yang bawah ni cannot be equal sebab dia akan jadi kosong. Tak boleh jadi kosong. So instead others value of the 0. So yang atas ni can be any value, betul? Boleh jadi negatif, boleh jadi positif. Okay. So yang ni boleh jadi kosong. Kosong bagi something, they can get kosong. Okay, dia boleh jadi kat negative value. Boleh. The output can be negative value. The output can be positive value. Yes, can be positive value. So maksud dia output dia akan jadi all the numbers. Okay. So z, the answer z from the negative infinity to the infinity. And z, ataupun you can get range z is the real numbers. Okay, that's all. Okay, that's the way how you can determine the range, the domain and range. Okay, so let's say we try for the second example. So the given f x y equal 72 minus 5x square minus 9y square. Okay, bila set maksudnya dia punya a boleh kosong tak? Can be the a equal to 0? Yes. Okay, yang tak boleh the value of the a here. So the all there is can be as a cannot be, must be equal and larger than 0. Equal larger than 0. So you know lah. So you 72 x square minus y square must be larger equal to 0. So you simplify 5x square plus 9y square must be 72. Okay. So this is the domain. So domain x, y, 5x square plus 9y square 72. Okay, so x is the real numbers, y is the real numbers. Okay, that's all. Okay, how about the domain? Okay, how about the range? The range is the output. So you ada ni So f x y 72 minus 50 x square 9y square. Okay, this is the so what is the output? Okay, so this one you can write as the z and so on. Okay, so you look here. Dia tengok 5x square plus 9y square. So kita make it easy, put equal. So this form is the basic equation for the ellipse. Okay, this one the basic equation for the ellipse. So for the ellipse, basic equation is the x h power of 2 a plus y k power of 2 b equal to 1. Okay, so we need to find the minor and major axis. Okay, minor and major axis. Okay, h and k is the origin. Okay, so based on this one, so you tahulah, you can be simplify. Equal to 1. So ni must be dalam bentuk ellipse, basic equation of the ellipse. So you need to find the minor and major. So you square. So 5/72 equal to 1 over a square. So selesaikan, a square sama dengan 14.4. So a equal to 3.7995 ataupun 3.8 lah. 5. So for the B, tak selesa tangan. For the B, 9/72 equal 1 over B square. So B square you akan dapat samaan dengan, mana kalkulator saya sebab kira 72 bahagi 9, 72 bahagi 9, so you akan dapat 8. So 8, so B equal dengan 2.828. So 8. So dia punya hasil okay, the possible adalah this one the Z. So Z form 2.8 until 3.8. So the minor and major for the Z only can reach to 2.8 and 3.8, and Z is the real number. This is the way. Okay, settle So the example how you can determine for the domain and range. Okay, for the two independent variable. Okay, two variable. So we try for the three variable. Okay, let's say three variable. So f x y z equal 9x square minus y square minus z square. So cert you know cert yang a dalam a ni. Okay, so all here must be equal and larger than 0. X square minus y square z square larger equal to 0. Simplify. X square plus y square plus z square 9. Okay, so you tahu this one adalah basic formula for the sphere. Okay, for the sphere. So this one akan jadi exact lah, dia punya W. So domain equal x y z x square plus y square plus z square must be less than 9. Okay, you nak stop kat sini pun boleh, and then reason x, y, z is the real numbers pun okay. So for the range is the output. So dia punya domain x plus y, z plus ni must be equal or less than 9. Okay, less than 9. So the larger value yang dia boleh dapat, so output dia kita tengok sini f x y z. Okay, 9 minus x square plus minus y square minus z square. Okay, this one yang paling besar nilai dia yang boleh dapat adalah 9. So 9 minus 9 0. Set 0 kosong. Okay, so the minimum value of here adalah 0. Okay, bila ni maximum, so the output akan jadi minimum lah. So what is the maximum? So this one can be 0, less than 9. Tapi dalam ni tak boleh, dia less than 9 tapi tak boleh negative value. Okay, so dia punya minimum hanya sampai kosong. So 9 minus kosong, so dia akan dapat set 9, so equal to 3. So the output dia antara kosong hingga 3, 0 hingga 3. So output dia you tahu, so this one tak apa, W pun boleh. So W between 0 equal 3. Okay, and W is the real numbers. Okay, that's all. Ni input, what is the possible input, what is the possible output. For the possible input, you tengok what is the restriction. Tengok the restriction, and then you can find the domain. Okay, so that's all. The way how you can determine for the domain and range. So I put some example here. Some exercise. So you need to determine for the domain and range. Okay, so saya tak nak banyak sangat topik. For the first class, only 2 topic, domain and range dulu. Okay, for the next topic maybe kita will discuss 1 or 2 subtopic. Okay, so exercise, find domain and range. Okay, the given f x y equal ln x plus y minus 1. Okay, ini nombor 1. Dan nombor 2, f x y equal y minus x square 1 minus x square. Okay, try to solve here, find the domain and range.